Women Empowerment Summit that is spearheaded by Carol Bouwer and her team. Now, in its third installment, the event aims to celebrate phenomenal women across the continent who are doing a stellar job in empowering and building the next generation of female leaders. Now, to talk to us about this initiative that's set to take place on the 6th of September, we joined from our Cape Town studios by its founder, Carol Bouwer. We also have Mayke Huijbregts, who will be representing UNICEF. She's actually the head of the Child Protection Program at UNICEF. A very good morning to you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much for having us. Good morning.
Morning. And I'm going to start with you. As we wrap up Women's Month, I guess we're not really wrapping, celebrating and, and highlighting the importance of women and the strides that they've made in our society.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. At this moment, the situation of women is still quite dire, because we do note a femicide in the country, but this kind of events in this month is incredibly important to emphasize the importance and the power of women to become empowered and to embrace themselves fully in society.
Right.
As you can see, women, they are the head of households, the majority of them, and under a situation of chronic distress. So it is very important that we unite as a society from arts, beauty, fashion, journalism, but also with young girls to empower them to fully embrace their skills, their talents and their opportunities to grow and contribute to this society in a meaningful way.
And having said that, Mayke, what's your contribution at the Africa Odyssey?
So we are actually very delighted to work with Carol and amplify this network, because the auction of bringing will come to UNICEF, and we will use that to invest in safe spaces for children after school, where they get a meal, wash their hands, an opportunity to learn, to be part of nutrition gardens, pop art, homework, reading support, and to be safe and learn about sexuality, their bodies, their rights. Right. So we are very proud of Carol and her initiatives as an associate director for UNICEF, as well as for the lead of the Influential Women's Circle. And together we amplify the voice for all children to become protected, are safe, loved, cared for, nurtured and empowered to the fullest.
Yeah. Now, Carol, let me bring into this conversation. I mean, you have conquered boardrooms, you have conquered the media space in particular. And, through African Odyssey, you have empowered women and amplified their voice. And when you talk of African Odyssey, one thinks of networking, sharing ideas, sharing wisdom with all remarkable women out there. So what should we expect in this year's event?
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. I think that, as women, we are constantly becoming. If we had conquered, we wouldn't still be needing platforms such as this. I think the exciting thing about this event is that we have really tried very hard to make it more about the continent and bringing as many voices from across the continent as we possibly can. It's about finding linkages for the continent to begin to transact with one another. It's exciting also that it happens at a time when the World Economic Forum Africa is also taking place. So we're able to tap multiple resources and get as many women into the room as we possibly can. You will know that how we do the African Odyssey is that it's twofold. So we have a summit during the day, but because I work closely with UNICEF as their special advocate for women and children, what we try to do in the evening is use the resource pool that we have in the room in order to raise funds for important work that we do to affirm children. So in the evening we have a fundraising component, and I'm very grateful that Bosch & Dahl has sponsored, because what it's meant is that the money that we raise from the tickets does not necessarily go towards the things that we have to do to lay out the program for the day. So what we raise in the evening will actually be able to go directly towards the programs that we want to support. We'll be supporting UNICEF, but we'll also, as women, that we care about breast cancer, which is afflicting a whole number of us. A huge percentage of women are afflicted with breast cancer, and we are silent about it until we get to October, and suddenly we care. So the Breast Health Foundation is going to be also a beneficiary this year.
Okay. Now, Carol, I understand that the fashion, beauty and business features quite prominently at this summit. And I understand that, in as much as it is primarily women-focused, but it is not actually entirely exclusive. Do you want to give us more details on this and how we can go about getting tickets for those who want to be part of it?
So the Odyssey has had to evolve because we've had a lot of interest from men as well who've said that we're in business, and some of us, you know, especially young men who are struggling just as much as women have been for the longest time. I think that women continue to be marginalized in business. Women continue to be excluded in spaces where our voices are needed, where we can really make a difference. So we'll continue to fight primarily to ensure that boardrooms open up for us. But while that happens, we don't want to exclude anybody. We don't want anybody who feels that they can be part of the conversation to feel that they, you know, we don't want them in the room, because then it would be the reverse of what's been done to us. So it's an Odyssey for everybody. It is not just for fashion. It started with just fashion and beauty, because as I was developing my bag range, I realized that, you know, I was in the business of creating and manufacturing products to export, but a lot of us as women were just consuming in this space and not part of the value chain. So okay. I think the big thing for me is I want women to be part of the conversation about how we're going to be part of manufacturing. I would like as many okay. women who want to be in business, in any part of in any kind of business, to be in the room to learn from the best. We have women such as Suzanne Ackerman Berman in the room. We have women such as, you know, from Bosch & Dahl, our sponsors, but somebody who is accomplished internationally in the business space, Shelley van Wyk.
All right, Carol, I'm afraid we are out of time, unfortunately. I wish we could go on and on with this conversation. But thank you so much for your time.
With the United Nations and
yeah. Unfortunately, we are out of time, Carol. And, you know, as we wrap up Women's Month, but we'll still continue celebrating you and the millions of women out there for the strides that you've made and taken in ensuring that you give women a voice out there. Thank you so much for your time.
6th of September, wanted online, all the information about the tickets.
All right, great stuff. Thank you so much. And we also thank you, Mayke, for your time and the kind of work that UNICEF has done in ensuring that women, and particularly in children, are protected. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us on the show.
Carol Bouwer and Mayke Huijbregts speaking to us about the African Odyssey Summit that is set to take place on the 6th of September in Cape Town. This is Morning Live. We'll have more in a moment.
We're very keen to hear why must Zuma's